going on, guys? Randall419, the man with the million, back again with another daily video. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday. Let's get right into the video. So as you can see, the title of the video is Xbox Scorpio absolutely needs to be unveiled before E3, and that's the topic for today's Rand's opinion piece. We talked about this on TXR podcast on Monday, so shout out to our podcast. Link is in the description of the video if you want to check it out, as well as all my other social media stuff. It was a pretty good discussion. I wanted to expound upon my reasons why I feel it's absolutely necessary for Scorpio to be unveiled at its own special event before E3. Let's talk about it. First off is the importance of Xbox Scorpio. A lot of people out there feel that Xbox Scorpio is maybe Xbox's last and best maybe chance of regaining a lot of lost market share from Sony, and also at the same time keeping market share away from Nintendo. And to do that, I think you need to present the system as really important to you, to your customers. And how do you do that is by having its own special event. An hour special event where you invite fans, you invite the media, and it's kind of like a celebration of Xbox in a certain way. I know it's like the unveiling of Scorpio, but kind of you can also tie in like a celebration of Xbox, because this is a big deal. Xbox Scorpio, you know, is a big deal. Phil and everybody at Xbox says like this is the next system, even though it's still part of the same Xbox One family. It's a powerful beast, and that is why you need an hour-long show separate from E3 to explain to Xbox fans, the media, and everybody out there that this is an important device. This is what it does. This is why you need it. This is what it will do for your games if you have a 4K TV. This is what it will do for your games maybe if you don't have a 4K TV. You need to properly explain all these things. Marketing has to be on point. All your executives, everybody at Microsoft has to be on point, because you need proper messaging. And messaging is something that has absolutely hurt Microsoft this whole generation, is proper and effective on-point messaging. And hopefully with a presentation before E3, knowing that Scorpio is important not only to themselves, but also important to the fans and the future of Xbox, you can have that on-point messaging that you need. So there are no questions about, can it do this? Will it do that? How much is, you know, whatever the price is. It needs to be just like, someone has a question, it's answered, because you don't want a situation at the beginning of 2013 about the used game stuff, because perception became reality. Even though used games run perfectly fine on Xbox One and have since the beginning, there's still that perception out there that they don't. And you want to clear that all up with Xbox Scorpio, right? And that's what having an hour-long event will help towards. Also, it would also help with getting back some of that mind share that seems to be lost among like the press and Twitter and forums. Because I saw last year, the end of last year, there was like a survey done or a study done where PlayStation had more news articles done about it, and partially because it is the market leaders, so people, you know, tend to write more articles about it, but also because it has its own special events. They had PSX. And during PSX, that's all people talked about. It was PlayStation, PlayStation, PlayStation. Even some of the people in the community of Xbox, you know, flip-flopped because of what they saw at PlayStation. They also had the event in September talking about the Slim and the Pro. And even though, you know, sales of the Pro, in my opinion, are tepid at best, Sony at least had the thought to actually give it its own hour-long press conference to show that this is something important to them and maybe important to consumers. So I think it's in Xbox's best interest to have the event before E3, because that's all people will talk about for like 2-3 weeks. What is everybody talking about right now? Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is absolutely dominating every headline in gaming, whether it's good or bad. It's the talk of the town, and the reason is they just had their own dedicated event. People will be talking about Nintendo Switch until basically the game even comes out, and then people will be talking about it then, right? It gets it into the public consciousness, and that's what Microsoft needs to do. They need to drill in that Scorpio is a product. It's a premium product. It's a product that plays your games better, and it's maybe even an affordable product in comparison to its competition. And how do you do that? Is by having its own event in May. You invite fans, you invite the press, and everybody will be talking about Scorpio. Guaranteed, for weeks leading up to E3, talk will be about Scorpio. If, on the flip side, if you wait till E3 to talk about Scorpio, now you're just one of many things at E3. You don't dominate the headlines anymore, right? Because you're going to have Sony's press conference. They'll show some cool looking games as they always do, regardless if they're 2018, 2019, or 2020. Nintendo's going to have a direct. They'll probably show some cool Mario, like Super Mario Odyssey or whatever else. That'll get headlines. You know, then you have EA and what they're doing, Bethesda and what they're doing. Every video game company is going to be at E3, so you're fighting for that mind share. I think it's imperative Microsoft get that week or month or 2 weeks of their own, so people are comfortable with Scorpio, know what it's doing, and then at E3 it can be about what you're playing on Scorpio, right? Which is the most important thing, because I don't particularly like press conferences with hardware. I prefer them to be about games. And I'm not saying they need to reveal everything in this event in May or whatever day they would do it. You can save the look of the console and the price of the console to E3, but you need to have the showing of, like, what games will be launched. Maybe you can, re-reveal Crackdown 3 there. Maybe you have a few third parties there to show off, your big, like, marketing deals you have for the year, right? Because the idea about this is you need to make Scorpio an event, right? You need to get across to consumers that this is the next big thing. And I think you're kind of telling people, if you put it with E3, that it's really not, that it's really just another thing, right? And I don't think you could properly explain why you need Scorpio in a 20-minute segment at E3. I don't think you just can. I think you'd be short-shrifting it if you had anything less than an hour, to be honest with you. That system needs a full hour to be able to, sell the public on why they need this system, not a flimsy 10 minutes at E3 or 20 minutes or whatever time you would allot to it. And something else, one of the other things I saw about why you wouldn't unveil it at E3 is, like, because it would cannibalize sales of Xbox One S. It's like, really? Like, you'd unveil it in May, and if you don't unveil it in May, you'd unveil it in June. So it's a month time. Plus, like, people know Scorpio's been coming since last year at E3. And I remember articles being written from journalists saying that, did Microsoft just kill the Xbox One S with the announcement of Scorpio? Obviously, they didn't know what they're talking about, because clearly the opposite happened, and the Xbox One S is doing extremely well for itself. So I don't see that as a valid argument. Even if it is a valid argument, you're talking about 1 month of sales in May, which isn't that big of a deal anyways. But at the end of the day, everybody knows the system's coming. They've known since June of 2016. So it's not like it's not like the PS4 Slim, which leaked like a month ahead of time, and kind of, everybody kind of knew the Pro was coming and the Slim was coming, and so people stopped buying PS4s. It's not that situation, so it's completely different. And I think, because I was trying to think of other reasons why you would actually hold off to E3 for the reveal of the system, and there's only really two that I can think of, and I don't think they're good, good reasons, but I'll just say them. It's like, one, Microsoft really wants to win E3, and I put win E3 in quotes because I don't think anybody wins E3 anymore in this day and age of, Twitter and the internet and everything like that, right? Like, maybe they are thinking like that old-fashioned way of like, we'll win E3 if we show off Scorpio and stuff, which I think is an archaic notion. That would be one reason why. And then the other reason would be that, what I talked about earlier, maybe they really don't have any games, or these games to show this year, so they do need that 20-minute gap filled. Which, if that's the case, I mean, that sucks, but I don't really think that's the case. So I don't really see both of those as like valid reasons. I think Microsoft has everything to gain from from doing an hour-long before E3 event and nothing to lose. They would gain mindshare because everybody would be talking about it for weeks before E3. You know, they would gain a sense of they would impart a sense of it that this system is important and you need it to consumers, to Xbox fans, to maybe lapsed PlayStation fans, maybe PlayStation fans that, you know, they bought a PlayStation because they wanted the most powerful. Now Scorpio's the most powerful. You need to reach those people. And I think it's just in their best interest. I honestly cannot see a valid reason to hold it to E3. But that's just me. I think Microsoft would be making a mistake if they held it off to E3. I think they absolutely need to unveil the system sometime in May, because everybody would go crazy for that system, and that would be the talk of the industry, just like Nintendo's the talk of everything right now, the Xbox Scorpio. So yeah, hope you guys like the video. If you did, please hit that like button. Consider subbing for more content, as I do put out stuff every day, pretty much. I've been working harder to get stuff out every day. So yeah, thanks guys for watching the video, and I will see you next time. Later.